Welcome to the Kind of Intentional podcast. Life gets full fast and it's easy to drift from the life you actually want to build. Each episode, we're going to take on one real-life topic, share honest stories, and pull out practical ideas you can actually use. These episodes are short, they're focused, they're intentional because your time matters, and so does the life you're building. I'm here with my co-hosts, Daniel Andrew and Sean Horsley.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Fun fact for today, I've worn the exact same outfit 4 weeks in a row.
What?
Just kidding.
Gross.
Just saying. We record these episodes on a little bit of a block, and so for those observant individuals out there, for any of our video content and stuff, it's not that we wore the same thing.
We do have more outfits. Tom has 2 more.
I have 2 more.
I have 700 more.
Let's be honest. I'm very much a minimalist at heart. I love the minimum, and if I could get, if my wife would allow me to only have 5 shirts, beautiful.
That's a little bit of an extremist, I feel like.
I love the idea of only
an
having
extremist minimalist.
Yeah, it's just so. Anyway, fun fact: we do multiple recordings on a single session, so it just kind of helps with our flow and our content creation. It also helps us to block out the time from our typical day activities, which is client focused. So it gives us the ability to just do these, which is certainly a whole lot more fun than I kind of anticipated.
We kind of do these kind of intentionally.
Yeah, we schedule it out. We map it. So we didn't think about it until just now that we would be wearing the same.
That might be a problem. It's okay. Our listeners don't care.
No, I'm not bougie enough to switch outfits in between. Yeah. Sean over here, he's always dressed fancy. My kids think he's the fancy one, so he's always dressed fancy.
It's
to the nines.
Not as hard as it seems, apparently.
So what is the episode today about?
One of your favorite topics ever in the history of favorite topics. The power of choosing less, the law of subtraction.
I love the law of subtraction. So I first heard of the law of subtraction several years ago, and it was a psychology study that they were seeing would people typically add something to solve a problem, or would they typically take away? And so the original study was done where participants were given a certain Lego tower, some kind of building thing. And if they would just take 3 Legos away, it would make everything level and it'd work, or they would have to add 5 or 7 Legos to the thing to make it equal. And so they said that more than 80% of the people added the 5 to 7 Legos versus just taking 3 away to solve the problem. And so I think one of the things that was so interesting, and granted, I am summarizing that, so if anybody looks it up and hey, he totally missed it. 2 Legos versus 7. I totally get it. You understand the concept though. And we'll put in the notes, the exact study that was done. But it's just really fascinating because I think so often when we hit an obstacle, we hit a challenge, the first thing that we always do is what do we need to add to solve this problem? I mean, almost every single one of us, we hit friction, we hit an obstacle, we hit something, and we're oh, what app do we need to add? What technology do we need to add? Do we need to hire another person? And so unfortunately, most of the time we default that 80%, we default to adding more to it versus saying, okay, let's pause, let's see what we can take away before we go into that. And so that's what this whole episode is about, is why successful people, why we think that it's better to eliminate things before we go back to add, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I always think about it because I'm obviously not I don't have a business background. And so, stepping into the business world a little bit, the example that you gave was most people will hire when more work is piling up. They're well, we need to hire more people.
Yeah.
But what you don't realize is, yes, it's easy to add one person. It would be a lot easier to add one person than it would be to rearrange responsibilities across an organization, right? However, there's so much cost that comes with that, right? And not that we like to think about people as, in a cost type of way, but when you think about the logistics of things, that's unfortunately just how it is. Insurance, onboarding, time invested, training, all of this stuff.
Computers. Somebody wants new MacBook computers. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, they got to have a specific chip. It's just,
Sean. This is all directed at Sean.
Well, and you're just still a little salty, I think.
I got my old Mac.
He's got his old Mac, and Sean's got a nice, shiny new one.
We just did the wall of addition there. We added Sean. We had to add all the technology.
It was my fault.
Sean, so it was fine.
Yeah, Sean.
We're not saying adding things is bad, but it shouldn't be the first thing. And I think that is a huge mindset shift.
Yeah, for sure.
We automatically are like, okay, what can we add? Not what can we change?
Yeah. 100%. Sean, I mean, have you ever thought about all the time? I mean, Sean is our business strategist. He's helping us with a lot of our systems and everything else for clients. But, so often when we're trying to solve some of these things, it's so easy to just try to add another software. It's so easy to write some new code so that way we can solve these things. But tell me a time, Sean, where you found that it was actually better to eliminate something, versus adding something else to it.
I think a lot of times we run into, right, we have the software sprawl that clients already have, and so sometimes we're like, okay, can we connect, let's say their Microsoft products with some other organization chart, and then maybe let's just add this in between that we can automate between them. And then a lot of times it's actually, maybe we're not supposed to be using these several different products. Maybe we can actually narrow it down and just keep all of our storage in one section or in one place rather than continue to expand on more applications. Because with technology advancing as fast as it is, it's always easy to just add this new software package that comes out. And as much fun as that is, and it gets to be, it adds so much complexity, and then you're training everyone on one more software.
Oh, for sure.
And that maybe won't integrate with all the other things or play nicely with all the other things that you have.
For sure. And then you have one more place for communication, one more place for data to be, one more place to manage users. And a lot of software is now subscription based and number of users you have. And so adding software can get to be so expensive so quickly. And so what we really work with clients on a lot is growth often comes from subtraction far before it comes from addition.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we focus so much more on adding revenue, adding people, adding services to it. It's well, maybe we're not trying to do is not add more services to it. Maybe it's about refining. Maybe it's about maximizing the value that we're providing for the customer by doing this thing. And so a lot of times what we found is it's so counterintuitive to people to say growth is coming from the subtraction.
Mm-hmm.
And so certainly, we haven't dove into specific softwares, but I think one of the things that I truly love, as we think about this kind of cost of just scattering our efforts across so many things because we're just starting to do it, I actually have a reminder in my phone every quarter, and it pops up and it tells me, elimination. That's just what it says. There's nothing more beautiful about it or anything. It just says eliminate. And what that means to me is I got to go through my calendar. I got to reflect on the things that I did in the last quarter and say, what do I not want to do moving forward? What can I actually eliminate from my calendar? What can I eliminate that I've done that I didn't serve me, that I, really didn't want? And that is such a challenging exercise because I think so often we like our routines, we like our schedule, we like the things that we're doing. And sometimes to go up, you got to let go of what's holding you back. You got to let go of the rope in order to go up the rope ladder. And so sometimes it's man, I've always done this. I've always done this activity or whatever. And it's so difficult to say I'm going to let that go so that way I can do something else more. So it's definitely an uncomfortable question. It's certainly an uncomfortable exercise to go through. But it is absolutely something that we can talk about doing. It's a real simple, thing just to create a reminder. You don't have to do it every quarter. I like to just do it at the end of the quarter as we look at, what's coming up for the next quarter, whatever that may be. It's just a great exercise for me. It's just a real simple reminder in the phone, but it's just having this mindset of we started out with I would love to have 5 shirts. It would be 5 things that I would have to iron and take care of. It would just be one of those things that would just be so much easier for me to try to have to care for.
Right.
And then there's less decision fatigue. There's just so many different things. And so really what we're talking about there, though, is just is there things we can eliminate or are there things that we could delegate? So elimination might mean what Danielle was talking about, which is delegating to different team members. Or maybe it's just postponing. Maybe it's not a bad idea. Maybe it's just a bad idea for this season. Maybe we don't need to do it today, but we could certainly pick it back up tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's hard too because I'm the type of person that wants to do things well. And I think there's a lot of people like that, where you want to do things well, but when you're being, pulled in a million directions throughout the day, or, this comes kind of back to the urgency over the important stuff, but you can't, you have to respect that, those things that protect your peace.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think that's one of the huge things that I've learned this past year is just, it's okay to protect your peace. And a lot of times, even if they're good things, you may be stopping good things. You may eliminate something that you maybe really enjoyed.
That is producing some
but
fruit.
You didn't feel like it was something that you could carry moving forward. And so it doesn't have to all be bad habit formation things.
Yeah.
It can be, you're saying no, or you're subtracting something that is good, but you see richer fruit over here. And so a lot of times stopping something allows space for like this creation of new beautiful things.
Yeah. So, we kind of think about that. Success is never about adding more. It's about protecting what matters most, right? And so, the great example of that, as we're thinking through it, I love serving at the church. I love being part of that and helping people. And so, I was in a season where I was a greeter, where I would help check in new families that would come in to go to the youth and childcare areas and everything else. I love that job because I love interacting with people. I love shaking hands and just greeting people. But I also serve in a small group. I lead a small group of individuals. And so between serving in a classroom to greeting and to leading a small group, it was a really uncomfortable decision, but I had to make the decision to just eliminate being part of the greeting team. Even though I loved that, even though I was producing things and I was being greeting and warm and welcoming, I knew that I could invest into my small group with one more lesson a month, and spending one more time just investing into other leaders or their families and spending time there, where I was like, man, even though I enjoyed one aspect, it was a really difficult thing, but that was a true example of what came from elimination. As I was reflecting back, and I'm again saying, man, there's only a certain amount of time that you have. There's only a certain amount of energy. There's only a certain amount of places you can be at a specific time. And as I weighed that out, even though it was really, really difficult, I really wanted to focus on those relationships where I could invest time into creating content, into leading a small group, into investing into other fathers, other mothers, other families, and just doing life together. I'm not saying I have it all figured out, but those things are something that, were way, way more impactful to me than obviously just being a greeter and shaking hands. And so, eliminating that one simple thing gave me one more week. It protected what matters most to me, which is investing into those families.
Yeah.
So again, thanks so much for listening. We hope everybody's subscribing. We hope everybody's checking these episodes out. We drop them every Tuesday. Daniel loves Tuesdays. It's her favorite day of the week. We really hope you subscribe, follow, like, all the fun things that kids are saying these days. And let's just try to be a little bit more intentional today than we were tomorrow.
I was trying to think of like a phrase that young people say, and literally my mind went completely blank.
That's because you're not a young person anymore.
Oh.
And I just said, let's be a little bit more intentional today than tomorrow. Like, that's not like totally moose headline.
You messed it. I
messed it 100% up. This is why you don't read.
What? But seriously, you're cooked.
I am cooked. I just messed it up. Let's try to be
That's it.
Let's try to be a little bit more intentional today than we were yesterday. That's what I meant to say. Not tomorrow.
Okay, you're less cooked now.
I can't even do it. I hope everybody's enjoying it. See you guys.
See you guys.
Catch you later.